Welcome back to Raw Sports Talk. I'm Chris, your favorite stat reader, and we have the Spurs hosting the Thunder. And the Thunder are 13.5-point road favorites. The over-under is at 237. The Thunder are minus 850 on the money line, and the Spurs are plus 575. Now, these are the overnight odds. They're going to change the closer we get to tip-off tomorrow. They've played each other twice this season. The home team won both games. The Thunder, 105-93. In OKC, and then the Spurs 110-104 in San Antonio, and the Spurs covered both games as the underdog, and both games went under. Now, lineups for this game, because the NBA is just so consistent when it comes to the lineups, are supposed to be SGA, Wallace, Dort, Williams, and Hartenstein, Paul, Fox, Fossil, Barnes, and Biyombo. Now, I guess we can say that they are consistent, that they are just consistently late, because the rule for the NBA is 30 minutes before the game. That's when teams have to announce their lineups, and I don't know what difference it makes for the actual players on the court. To me, it's just a mindset of whether or not they decide that they're going to phone it in for the game, because they'll look forward to the next game instead of the one that they have to play that night. Now, head-to-head, the home team's on a 4-game winning streak. The home team is 8-2. The Thunder are 7-3 against the Spurs in their last 10. The underdog has covered the last 2. The favorite is 6-4 against the spread. The favorite is 8-2 on the money line. The under's hitting their last 3. The over/under is 5-5, and the under at 237 is 6-4. The Thunder are 8-2 in their last 10, 4-5-1 against the spread. The over is 7-3. The over's hitting their last 5. 253, 259, 250, and then 254. 7-point win over the T-Wolves covered. 3-point loss to the T-Wolves in overtime in a game in which they had a 16-point lead and choked it away. They did not cover. They didn't cover the 7-point win over the T-Wolves either. Then an 8-point win over the Nets, they didn't cover. And then they beat the Hawks by 16 points, and they covered that game. For the Spurs, 3-7 in their last 10, 3-7 against the spread. The under is 5-4-1. 210, 212, 224, and then 258. A 18-point loss to the Pelicans, 6-point loss to the Pelicans, 12-point loss to the Rockets. They didn't cover any of those games, and then they beat the Grizzlies by 2. The last 4 games that they played, they were on the road. Now, the Thunder are another one of these teams. They're always going to be ridiculous, especially when they play teams like the Spurs who aren't playing with Wemby, that the money line, it's not worth it, but I think that the Thunder are going to win. I would take the Spurs getting the points because I do think that this one might get a little bit closer than it should be, although the Thunder should run them off the court. And I'm going to lean under in this game. Now, this is another one of those games, especially because the Thunder are so heavily favored, that I would try to get them laying maybe like 6.5, just because in case they decide they want to half-ass it like they did in the last couple of games, that you've got some buffer, and it'll probably still be cheaper than the money line. And if you get lucky and the Spurs jump out to a lead earlier in the game, you could probably get it in-game and get it for a lot less. Now, these are just my picks. If you disagree, please go with your gut, and please bet responsibly.